Hey, wrestling fans, I'm Mike Bamani, joined as always by my co-host Louis Carrillo. And this week, we are joined by our special guest host, Giovanni Guanil. We are the Wrestling Smarks, and this is the latest episode. Boy, oh boy, did we have an alright Raw 2 weeks in a row.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Else?
I enjoyed it. What about you, cuz?
Middle of the road show.
Yeah.
Middle of the road. Not like last week. You can't have a show like last week all the time. But it was a middle of the road show, yeah.
Last week's one was kind of like how the night after WrestleMania was, like that type of feel. Like that Raw was that to me that was the best. The night after WrestleMania was the best Raw of the year. So
it usually
probably
is.
Yeah, and it should be. That's
well, usually the night after Raw is always the best one. A night after WrestleMania, Raw is always.
We got Michael Cole here, just calling Ambrose versus Ambrose last night.
My bad.
All right, so we'll get into the action. Your boy Roman Reigns comes out into a hot crowd in Canada.
Ooh!
Yeah, Roman Reigns. Sorry for your speakers. That probably just got clipped there with him doing that. Roman Reigns comes out, talks about Cena and him being the next champion. What do you guys? How do you feel? Let me get your opinions on this.
Well, I mean, he can't get his promos the way it should be. To me personally, I just think he's not up there on his promos yet. It's all a basic promo right now for him, and I don't see nothing to it. Is him saying Cena is not gonna be where he wants to be. I'm gonna be WWE champion. And that's it. Nothing spectacular.
I thought there were a few interesting things about the promo. I'm not as down on his promo skills as you guys might be. I thought that it was solid. There's definitely room for improvement. But first of all, that crowd helped a lot. I mean, Montreal, he got a huge ovation, and that just makes him look like a star. The people watching at home, they say, wow, Roman Reigns has arrived.
There's no, sorry to interrupt, but there is definitely no question that he's connected with the audience and he's over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have international events, when you go to Raw International anywhere from London to Canada, these guys are going to get the hugest pops ever because that's they're not there all the time like they are here in the U.S.
But Canada is always kind of considered a smart crowd,
wrestling country, absolutely.
They know their stuff. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So so you're enjoying his promo and stuff, and.
I thought that it was solid, and he has definitely got the cool factor. First of all, he has the added advantage of retaining the Shield music, which I think is them giving him the nod. He has that recognizable music. He comes out through the crowd. He's fist bumping people. He's not really making eye contact. It's like he's too cool for school, but I like that.
You mentioned that how he just fist bumped the kid, didn't even look at him, just threw the fist out there, kept on.
Yeah, and I just thought that was really great. He's got a huge cool factor.
It's reminiscent of something we're going to talk about later in the night about someone bumping somebody and not acknowledging them.
There we go. I see where you're going.
We'll get to that, but I think that was...
Yeah, but I enjoyed it, and he drove the point home. There you go. Hey, Battleground, I'm going to beat Cena, yada, yada, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and then out comes Kane.
The Demon Kane.
The Demon Kane.
That's right, the Demon Kane.
He's not just Kane.
My mistake, Mike. I'm sorry.
The Demon
He is,
Kane.
yeah.
And, Roman Reigns basically calls him Triple H's lapdog and Randy Orton's bitch.
Yeah, at 8:05 too. I thought that was a little surprising.
Real early in the show to be throwing a B-word out there.
WWE, they were premiering the Monday Night Raw later in the night on the network, which, excuse me, that water coming up. Spoiler alert. Fucking awesome.
Okay.
I watched the whole thing after Raw. It's amazing. Yeah. Get that free download. We're always pushing the WWE.
It's free.
You get a week of it.
Eventually, they're gonna start sponsoring us. You watch.
You get a week free of WWE Network. No credit card needed.
Just an email address.
And we could talk about it later, but I actually don't have the WWE Network, and I think that it's for a solid reason. But we can touch on that later. But I will take advantage of the free. Week. It's until the 14th. I intend to, yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
So after they come in, they start brawling.
We get a barrage of old WCW wrestlers coming out. Man. Fit Finley, the Belfast Bruiser himself.
That's right.
Dean Stinko Malenko, as Chris Jericho would call him. Son of Bore Us Malenko. And even we had, I think Jamie Noble was out there.
Jamie Noble, Joey Mercury was out there.
IRS.
And Mike Rotunda, IRS, the father of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas.
That family was all over the show. Yeah.
And then all right, so we get Fit Finley and I forgot who else was it.
I think Jamie Noble.
Yeah. They're restraining Roman Reigns.
Yep, right there in the corner. Yep.
And Finley gives Reigns one of those.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, you know, he lets him know what's up. He's a road agent. And then Roman Reigns in full dick mode when this is a 50-something-year-old Fit Finley now, I believe.
Well, he can still go.
He pushed poor Jamie Noble to the side like it was nothing.
He tossed Jamie Noble.
He tossed Jamie Noble and then speared Fit Finley.
He did do that.
What did Fit Finley do to deserve that? Why? That's an agent. That's your boss. That's your boss.
I see where you're coming from.
He's not Vince McMahon. He's not Triple H giving you a hard time.
The crowd did.
He's not his baby girl.
Oh, the crowd loved it.
No, they loved it. I'm being a jerk. I'm just screwing around. It was pretty awesome. I used to hate Fit Finley when he was in WCW.
Really?
I was a kid. I was like 11 years old. I thought.
Oh man, I thought
liked him
as
I got
older. You probably thought he was just a boring wrestler. That's why
No.
you're an 11-year-old kid
Yeah,
at the
like,
time.
at
You don't
11,
look
yeah.
at the wrestling part of it. You look
Back
at
then,
entertainment.
this was still steroids were still in heavy use, and Fit Finley
wasn't on steroids.
was not on steroids.
Yeah.
I think it's because I like Green so much, but him and Booker T had some good matches.
No, they did.
TV champion.
As I say, as I got older, I appreciate it. But as a kid,
okay.
I definitely, and he was a bad guy. He was the Belfast Bruiser. He did his job. I hated him as a kid.
A lot of steak. He brought a lot of steak, but not a lot of sizzle. You know, but that's okay sometimes. Shout out to Jr.
All right. So after this segment, we get the Usos versus Eric Rowan and Luke Harper.
Yeah.
Who they have settled on the 90s WCW slide guitar intro, which is way better than the screeching one they had a couple weeks ago.
That's like a 3-week streak of mentioning that whole world in his hands music.
That was terrible.
Wow.
That was just
that
terrible.
will live for, I think.
Shockmaster?
No, I just want to say, like, who thought that, like, because obviously someone had to make that horrible cover rendition. Oh my God!
Probably
second,
Johnson.
Yeah, and then second, you know, they're like backstage. Someone's like, "Yeah, this is awesome!" Like, you know what I mean? Like someone was like Vince, like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna."
Until his ears busted.
Yeah, like
his ears busted.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because everyone hated it. I've not heard anyone that's like, "Yeah, man, that was all like."
And they changed it quickly.
They
so,
did.
I mean,
Thankfully, they got that right. So.
Well, these guys, the Usos and the Wyatts, basically they got good chemistry together. From what I think,
through the roof.
They put on great matches
through
every time.
Roof.
I've never have no complaint. I could see these guys wrestle again next week, and I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, I've told you before that like I'm not really too big on the Usos because I don't know anything about them. You know, I mean, that's one of those acts that just kind of turned face because it was convenient for WWE.
Well, it's not Naomi's man, Naomi's husband.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, they're for
one of them
divas
is.
or whatever. Yeah, total divas. But you know, I mean, they are.
That's how we learn
excellent.
about the Usos is through Total Divas.
There you go. They're excellent wrestlers, though, as they should be. I mean, they're brothers. I mean, brother tag teams, they're usually on it, you know, rock solid, Matt and Jeff, and et cetera, you know. But I mean, the Usos are really good in the ring, and so are the Wyatts.
Yeah, it was a stellar match, as pretty much always. It's become those two teams in the ring. It's great, and for the most part, actually, if you think of it, any team that almost both of those teams face, they always have good matches. Anyone the Usos go against is always a good match. Anyone the Wyatts go against is a good match, and now them together.
It's magic. It really is.
It is. It's very good.
Except for this little controversial ending.
Okay, so I think Giovanni's got some good points on the ending was the wrong Uso, the wrong
Uso. Yeah, he got pinned.
The wrong Uso, and now both of them, if you were gonna just put their first initial, would be J Uso.
Yeah.
So the wrong.
That's one of their names. Is Jay, Jimmy and Jay.
Isn't one of their real names John, and they're calling him like?
Oh, that's like Mitch or.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, either way,
Otis.
The wrong Uso got pinned, but bring up some of your valid points that you talked about.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they made it a point to complain about that, you know, and that, you know, if that was deliberate on the Wyatt's part, then okay, that's shady or whatever. But you know, in the referee's defense, I mean, these guys are twin brothers, you know, and you got to think that you know they're gonna run into this problem at some point. So why not just, you know, I'm all about people, you know, tag teams wearing similar attire. I'm all about it. It makes them look like they're on the same page. Makes them look like they're an act that is meant to be together.
An actual unit.
But that's what you get, you know.
But you're twins,
Like they were wearing silver and green last night. One could wear like black and green or white and green, you know. I mean.
They both have like a sleeve or whatever on the same
Yeah,
arm.
the only difference is the paint. One
Yeah.
is on one side.
And-
What do you think of maybe turning them as a heel group?
Well, I was gonna say, I bet you they won't complain when they use that to their advantage.
Boom.
Yeah, when they pull
If
the
they
old.
turn into a heel group, then they can use the old switcheroo like
Yeah.
the Bellas used to do.
I want to see wrestlers
Express.
going under the ring and a different wrestler rolling out
Yeah.
like we used to.
Twin Magic.
Pull the
Turn
old,
out Twin Magic. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
the
even in
old
80s,
doink.
Smash and Axe. Axe and Smash, who looked nothing alike.
Different face
Demolition.
paint.
Yeah, and it was when they were the trio with Crush.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one of them rolled. I think it was Smash was in the match and Axe. Either way, the older one.
Well, the Killer
Axe,
Bees.
yeah.
The Killer Bees used
Yeah.
to do that
Yeah.
too with the mask.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
They put the mask
It's
on.
a classic
one would go
maneuver,
in,
but
you know?
but it doesn't work their favor. The Usos lose in a
Yeah.
non-title match as always. So,
Yeah.
so
Excellent
it's setting
match.
up. Yeah,
Good
it's
price.
hell,
I mean, 4-star match. I would say.
Battleground.
Yeah.
Yep, they will
Championship
probably,
match at Battleground, probably.
As-
Over
as-
in our
you
home
know.
state of Tampa, Florida.
Boom.
Our home state of Tampa.
Yep, there it is. Louis Carrillo, everybody.
Everybody.
At Louis Lumatic
Yeah,
51,
yeah.
okay?
We
The
see
state
it.
of Tampa.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we are in a different location, as you can probably tell, a remote location.
We don't have our fabulous
using some
background.
different microphones, different stuff. No microphone issues, hopefully this week. But yeah, they're due to technical difficulties at the Smarks headquarters. We took this show on the road this week, but we will be back next week at our normal location at some time after 8 p.m. as we always do it now, like 9:10ish. It seems to be our going time frame here.
Follow your boys.
Now, we already touched on the Kane Randy Orton thing. There was a Nikki Bella Alicia Fox match.
Ugh.
Enough said.
Done.
We'll just move right past that.
Yeah?
And
Nikki
yeah,
looked good though.
You want to touch on how many things were stupid about it, and that this was on live
you know,
television?
Okay, I don't think we need to waste any people's time.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really was stupid. I mean, it just...
They're smart enough to realize it.
yeah. You think so? I don't
It
know.
Some of them are.
Sucked.
Maybe they might
Some
be.
of you guys are.
Yeah, I like Alicia Fox, but I mean, she jumped up and down the stage. It was just,
Yeah,
I just
it
can't
was
believe
retarded.
that there were people there who paid
Alright.
money. You
Yeah, I
know,
didn't
yeah,
see
it's
that.
crazy.
So
To see this
after that, we
travesty.
had the Lana Rusev. Now, did you notice the Canadian crowd being upset that they didn't get Lana to do her normal intro on like the top and show that sweet body off and say her normal stuff? Like, it was a jobber straight cut into the ring.
Yeah,
basically.
kinda
Like,
surprising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't give him his normal entrance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they that was a very odd. I guess it kind of makes a little bit of sense because they always talk about America, everything.
Mhm.
So being in Canada,
Yeah.
the WWE writers, they probably too hard for. I mean, who knows? But
One thing is that they could have been low on time because that first match, Usos and
Yeah.
Wyatts, they gave them a lot of time.
and then
especially for an
think
opening
of it,
match. Yeah.
they could have just not had the Nikki Bella,
Ugh,
Alicia
Jesus.
Fox match, and the Canadian fans would have got what they wanted.
Okay, he's a smart
What do
cricketer.
you
Come on.
think of the? They had the match Rusev and against RVD, which
Huge
was a
pop,
good
by the way.
match. RVD got
Super
a huge
over.
pop.
Yeah.
Good match, for
Yeah,
Let
rock
me
solid.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you guys
solid.
this question. When's the does it not seem like every match since RVD's been back, almost every single match he loses in since he's been back?
Yeah,
You and I
don't think
discussed-
he's
yeah.
won a match in a
Yeah.
while. He hasn't won a match in a while.
Yeah, you and I discussed this over the weekend. I mean, we were talking about on NXT, Adrian Neville and Rob Van Dam going against
even
each
Neville
other.
beat him.
Yeah, RVD, he was the WWE champion. He's had most of the titles, IC champion so many times, yada yada, and he will probably wind up in the WWE Hall of Fame. And the thing
I
is
wouldn't
that
see why
you
not.
can make money with Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
There is money to be made with Rob Van Dam,
And-
even in his 40s, even without all the chairs and
Yeah.
all the stuff, and it just bothers me that Rusev went over on him when there are so many other people on the roster
Well,
that you could have made the same
And
point.
this is another thing that I've noticed. Obviously RVD is there to put talent over.
No question.
But
I have no problem
when
with
he's
that.
losing every single match,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. You have to have him win. Let him have some sort of a little streak, and then the guy you're really trying to put over beats RVD. Now
Yeah.
it's like, holy shit, RVD was back. It looked like he was going to win a
Yeah.
championship or something,
They-
and then Rusev beats him or
They
something.
have they have this guy, which we'll talk about later, a little bit later. But they got people like Del Rio that are winning matches, and they can't put RVD to win a match. If they put RVD to beat somebody like Del Rio or any other type of heel that's out there, and then have Rusev beat him, that would make Rusev look even more better because he's winning now. Yeah, RVD's a former WWE champion, former ECW champion.
He beat John Cena.
He beat John Cena with the help of Edge.
He beat John Cena, Lou.
But he beat him, though.
Right.
He beat him, I know, but he Edge helped him.
Gotcha.
All right? And,
it
just needs more,
a masked
more
man
of a thing, you know?
in a motorcycle helmet speared him.
Okay.
It's not 100% conclusive that was Edge.
Yeah, we don't know if that was Edge yet.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the case. It's been about 8 years. I mean, I don't
Was
have any
Andre
leads.
the Giant's arm down for the 3 count at WrestleMania 3? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Okay.
Guys, Jesse Ventura and them, they talked about it for a long time. They said it was a controversy.
Trust me.
Let's just move
Just
on.
trust me. Trust me, guys.
Okay.
Right?
Move on. Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
I know what
so
I'm talking about.
We're kidding. We're getting in tangents.
And also, they're gonna have the match, just so you know, Battleground.
Who?
Swagger and Rusev.
Yeah, Swagger came out today because he's USA, and I guess some Canadians may not like USA.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all right. Yeah, you don't want them. You don't want them Hacksaw Jim Duggan in it at WrestleMania 6 trying to get a USA chant in Canada. Look that one up. It's pretty hilarious. he does it about 3 times, then realizes you can see the look on his face when he says it a couple times. It's something, and then it's like
they're not chanting
USA.
Wait,
I'm in Canada. Oh yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Awesome.
Good stuff. All right, so so that's pretty cool. Jack Swagger against Rusev. Obviously, I think Rusev's gonna beat him, but at least
he should beat him.
He should. He definitely should.
As long as it's a competitive match, I'm totally fine with that. Even
Swagger's over right now with the fans. The Rusev as a heel is definitely working. When you can turn Jack Swagger into a face and have a crowd of 15,000 or whatever chanting "Let's go Swagger."
I am loving Zeb Coulter's promos right now.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal.
Zeb Coulter's promos right now. I don't know. You guys didn't watch SmackDown, but SmackDown he came out. Him and Swagger interrupted Rusev and Lana, and he said, "I'm gonna ask you guys 2 questions." He said, "Who invented the internet?" Not a Russian.
I saw that little thing.
I forgot the other question, but the other question he came out and he said, not a Russian.
Yeah.
He's
great.
Answer,
He's great. Jack Swagger needs a mouthpiece.
He needs a mouthpiece.
And it's cool.
And Zeb is the one.
Most of the time, when you go from heel to face, you're settle down there.
I'm sorry about that, buddy.
Most of the times when you go from heel to face, you don't your promos and a lot of your stuff usually aren't as good because you don't get to have the character. But it seems I think we're in agreement that Zeb Coulter, since he's gone from the heel to now the face, has been giving out better promos. It seems because you can tell he is a patriotic guy. He genuinely is, and now it's kind of like I brought up a couple of weeks ago when this happened, how Sergeant Slaughter, when he turned face in the early 80s and came out and did the whole Pledge of Allegiance and got everyone that's Sergeant Slaughter and that's Zeb Coulter. They are proud that they're proud Americans, and now he's not having to bring up the immigration stuff and be a heel. He gets to just be patriotic.
We'll see where it goes after Rusev. I mean, because there's not a lot of anti-American characters in WWE that you can go after, but we'll see.
You don't necessarily have to have an anti. He can just.
Yeah.
I don't see the Rusev Swagger match ending at Battleground.
Okay.
Reason being is I could see this going in maybe a double DQ type way. Where they just start beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
And then going into a SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, why not? I mean, SummerSlam's another 2 weeks after this.
Man, I got it. How hilarious! Jack Swagger rolls up in the Lex Express for SummerSlam.
Oh, good God! How'd that work out for Lex Luger at SummerSlam?
He won via countout and then celebrated.
He won the championship via countout.
No, he won.
I know that he didn't win. It did not turn out well for him.
But then celebrated like he won the championship.
Oh, good
he
God!
He won the championship over Yokozuna, which he.
Yeah. Well, he did win the championship. Now, the funny thing is, he was supposed to go over at WrestleMania.
Yep, that's right.
And then, because they were like, they originally he was going to win at SummerSlam, Luger, again, so we're bringing it back real quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're going back 20 years. Deal with it. No, it's like, Luger's supposed to win. The Lex Express, Hogan leaves. Lex Luger's, or it's 93, sorry, summer of 93. Luger's supposed to be the next Hulk Hogan, gets the Lex Express, body slams Yokozuna on the Navy ship.
The USS Intrepid.
Yep, on
I was
4th
there
of July.
live. I was like 10
really?
years old, yeah.
Oh, no
awesome.
way.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That was awesome. All all the football players came out, all the basketball players trying
Macho
to slam
Man,
Macho Man, Tatanka. Tatanka got a little, started chopping him on the head, started getting him, and he tried to lift him and just couldn't do it. And then we see the helicopter just coming out of nowhere, where everybody's like, "What the hell?"
And at that moment, till that moment, Lex Luger had been the narcissist, and had been a bad guy. So face turn.
He came out in a little USA tight shirt.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to. Now Luger was supposed to go over and be the champion at SummerSlam, but they're like, "Oh, how the momentum is like, no, let's just have him win by count out. He'll be even bigger at WrestleMania," and he gets his Mania moment. That didn't work out. The fans probably needed Luger to win the championship there. Hindsight, Luger, if he would have won the championship, he probably would have been more over. He didn't have the fans. You get the 2 out of 3 match, the best, with Luger getting Yokozuna first, Bret Hart getting it second because Luger and Bret Hart fell out of the Royal Rumble.
They both won the Royal Rumble, yeah.
And Bret Hart loses to Owen Hart, which was pretty awesome.
One of the best matches ever.
Yes, and then Lex Luger loses to Yokozuna. Yokozuna loses to Bret Hart. Bret Hart's your champion. Luger never gets his WWE title run.
They filmed promos for syndication of him with the championship because they were going to go with that finish, but they didn't. And you know what? Hey, it is what it is.
It is.
And I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Can't fantasy book here. So, all right, back to the current.
All right, time travel.
So, we had that. The next match was amazing. It's Randy Orton versus I am ready to kick some ass, Dean Ambrose.
The lunatic fringe, Dean Ambrose.
He is in his 90s WCW ass-kicking attire.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose kicks other people's ass, and then he kicks himself ass.
Yeah,
he whooped himself as just as bad as he whooped Randy.
It's amazing, right? Like, Ambrose,
I believe him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he is believable.
Yeah.
He seems like he really wants to kick some ass.
Maybe at some point in the future he'll want to win a championship, blah blah blah. But right now he is obsessed with the breakup of the Shield, getting back at Seth Rollins, getting back at the Authority, which means getting back at Randy Orton. And obviously last night the environment of that match, the atmosphere of that match was such to where he didn't want to beat Randy Orton in a wrestling match. He wanted to just beat the holy hell out of him. I hardly saw any wrestling moves from Dean Ambrose, but he came out in street clothes, he came out in wrestling attire and everything.
He does.
But I mean, I believe him that he is there because he wants to beat the hell out of Randy Orton or whomever he's in the ring with. I believe him. I'm all about it, and I think that Dean Ambrose is doing exactly what he should be doing right now. And not just Dean Ambrose, but all 3 of those guys. But all 3 of them, they're going to be huge stars.
It is cool. No one's getting the Marty Jannetty treatment yet out of the Shield.
Not just yet. We'll see what happens.
Exactly.
At the moment, give it a couple of months.
At the moment, it's cool that all 3 of them are, and it Ambrose and Rollins being intertwined with each other. Oh yeah,
love it.
Like I said in a couple of episodes ago when this breakup happened, I see Dean Ambrose getting the Marty Jannetty treatment.
Yeah, I think out of the 3 so far, he's been the least on fire, but that's a good thing.
Whoa! I think Ambrose is who me and Aubrey Sitterson talked about this on Straight Shooting. I think he's actually convinced me. At that point, I still had thought that Bray Wyatt was the best, on the mic as a wrestler, but. Who's better than Ambrose right now?
Ambrose's promos, I agree with you guys 100%. Mm-hmm. Ambrose's promos is golden right now.
And he's a great wrestler.
I just don't see him getting the push of going up to be, high rank.
Yeah, not right now at least. I mean, you look at Seth Rollins, he's got the Money in the Bank contract.
Let me ask you this. Could you guys not possibly see Dean Ambrose winning the Money in the Bank from Seth Rollins?
I don't like when they do that. They have done it before, but I mean,
I don't want to see that either.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past WWE to do something like that, but I don't like it. But I mean, I see him and Seth Rollins being intertwined for quite a while. And before, when I said that he's getting the least best treatment, I think that's a good. I think that only speaks to how good Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are in their respective positions. Yeah.
I actually think that I would actually put. Obviously, Roman Reigns is getting
the title shot.
Yeah, but Rollins has the Money in the Bank, and Ambrose, I guess so. Yeah, but I like because Ambrose keeps coming out on top over Rollins.
Yeah, he's ruining.
For now, he keeps coming out on top. So
I love it.
I think they're all. Every one of them's getting.
They haven't announced them yet for Battleground. More than likely, again, I'm seeing another where they fight throughout the arena type deal at Battleground.
The
And
old
then as-
Rowdy Piper finish,
Yeah,
the Bad News Brown finish to
Yeah.
matches.
Yep.
There's
matches
never
thrown
no
out
clean
because they can't
endings.
do anything. No clean ending. So I see them going into SummerSlam now as a
Maybe
false
for the
count
contract. Who knows? I mean, yeah.
false count anywhere match.
Yeah.
Between
No.
these two.
All three of them, they're doing great, and I'm excited for all three of them and their futures.
It was cool though. In the back to the Orton Ambrose match, there was actually ring psychology in the
Absolutely,
match. Like
yeah.
Orton's working, Ambrose has an
Yep.
injured shoulder.
Yep.
Orton's not trying to put like leg locks and stuff
yeah.
on. He's working the shoulder.
Yeah.
And Dean Ambrose
How
starts
about the
throwing chairs in
awesome?
the ring.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was like, how about the awesome like ECW 90s ECW
Yeah.
spot with Ambrose just like throwing every chair into the ring.
Yeah.
I wish there would have been a
was
spot. Yeah, like I wish they could have actually done something with it. But at least just seeing that happen, it shows his like he's a crazy dude.
Yeah, he's
looking
unhinged.
He
you know?
is looking to kick some ass. So, yeah.
They had one botched moment though.
They did have the botch moment.
Oh, what was that?
Dude, that was bad. Like
I think Randy Orton was supposed to turn around and do a drop kick or something.
Yes.
He's done it plenty of times
Yes.
before. Yeah.
But yeah,
before, but Randy
like-
Orton was not looking, and people are blaming Ambrose for this. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I cannot blame Ambrose for that botched move. I can only blame Randy Orton because he didn't turn around in time.
yeah, like,
but I mean,
or maybe even an RKO. Something like, there was definitely something was supposed to happen.
Yeah, something
there.
was supposed to
'Cause
happen.
Ambrose
I think it was the
just-
drop
Yeah.
kick. I think
Yeah,
it was the
probably
drop
was
kick.
dro-
He was
you are
supposed to
probably
hit
right.
him
Yeah,
with.
he just
He just dropped his head.
Randy Orton was not far out of the corner, and
Yeah.
Ambrose like lands just right behind him, standing
yeah.
like surprise,
Yeah.
behind you. Now there was a cool spot where Ambrose had him on the outside, and Orton threw Ambrose like right into the ring post, and like he went pretty hard into there. I mean, these guys are selling like they're selling like Kurt Hennig basically. These guys are doing it.
The DDT off the railing
Oh
too
my
was
God,
vicious.
the DDT outside,
Vicious.
yeah, like and
That was a vicious.
and
I
then
believed
you
it. I
get
just
Loved it.
believed it. It's
You
great
get
when you
the-
can
It
be
was a
drawn into the
believable
fantasy.
match.
Absolutely.
yeah, and you get the Randy Orton does get the RKO for the win at the end, but Dean Ambrose comes out of that match, even though losing, comes out better looking. It's
Absolutely.
like you could see like Randy Orton had that look in his eye, like after the match, like holy shit, that was like one hell of a match. Like you could tell that there was
Dean
an
Ambrose
actual,
was
like,
our wrestler of the week last week.
yeah,
So,
and
I mean,
and he's in strong contention for
strong
for 2 in a
contention
row.
2 weeks in a row.
I think he's like Teflon
We'll
in this
see.
regard because he got in a lot of offense, and I mean, he got his character over big time more so, and I mean, I don't think that this loss is going to affect him at all, and there's no shame in losing to Randy Orton. He is a world-class athlete. Anybody who is, paying attention to pro wrestling knows that, so it's not the end of the world.
Obviously, I mean, Randy Orton was on vacation only a couple
That's
of weeks
true,
ago.
okay?
I mean,
Yeah.
He got a vacation, He was well-rested, so,
Imagine if he was fully, out there.
Oh, my
fully
God.
torqued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Torqued
If he
out,
was fully torqued out there, a lot of people would have taken notice, is what I'm thinking. All right.
So that was pretty awesome. After that, we get the backstage interview with John Cena.
Renee Young, our lovely Renee Young.
Oh man, Renee. So what'd you guys think of the Cena interview? I think everyone kind of knows that I really dislike John Cena, so I'll let you guys talk. I don't want to.
I have no problem with Cena. I've seen him with better promos than what he's had last night. Last night's promo with Roman Reigns was just terrible. It wasn't nothing, no build up to it, nothing to build up on their match. It's just two guys say, "I can beat you" or "I can beat you."
Yeah, I can beat you. Oh yeah, well I can beat you.
Yeah, I didn't.
All
I
right.
didn't feel nothing of it.
It was pretty formula, It's a promo that we've heard from John Cena countless times since he's been in the main event mix for about 10 years now. Very basic, I can get past it. I mean, when he does a formula WWE promo like that, where it to me, it always sounds like he's reading from, a script or whatever, but he reads his lines well, but to me, it just doesn't feel like...
he's not actually, like, you can tell he's just reading from script. Like, again, Dean Ambrose, just like we talked, Dean Ambrose, it sounds like it's coming from his heart.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
He's ready to kick some ass. John Cena sounds like he's got, like, cue cards that he's just staring at.
Absolutely, yeah, he
his flat
over-emotes
face.
and stuff, but I will say this, and we'll probably touch on it later, but his backstage segment with Seth Rollins, I enjoyed 10 times more because it sounded organic.
Yeah.
It sounded like they didn't know the cameras were there, and I really believed it.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about it more
now,
in a little bit. But this one,
Cena has his moments when he has good
Yes,
promos.
yes, he does,
He has good promos.
He's got it in him.
Oh, yeah,
He's got to have somebody that it's like basically you have to have a good partner when you're dancing. And when Cena's not out there with somebody that he can dance with,
Yeah, that's a great
a
analogy.
la Bray Wyatt, him and Bray Wyatt dancing around in the ring with Cena. No, if you watch Botchamania, there was Everybody Talks Too Much segment, and now they've done a Cena Talks Too Much segment. And
I gotta watch that. That's
oh
great.
my man, Cena, like every match, and we'll get into it. In the little part that I saw before I dozed off, which we'll get into later again, that Cena, you can just hear him like calling the spot.
Yeah.
It's so
he does.
bad,
I mean,
man.
even Chris Jericho does it. I mean, Jericho's a veteran.
But Cena just, it's like, man, you got time before
Yeah.
before you go. Can't you guys just like, you know, in the gorilla position, you know, be like, hey, let's start the match this way, instead of like just being there and be like,
oh boy,
send me in the ropes. I'm gonna come back with a clothesline.
Well,
all right.
That's why they got there. You know, when they lock up, they got the.
Obviously.
Like
But you would think like most people would talk like with a softer thing. Cena's just broadcasting it to everybody. But all right, well, we'll get into that. We get a special guest commentator tonight for the next match. Now, the next match was Dolph Ziggler against Alberto Del Rio, who no one cares about Del Rio. He's been stripped of everything that was cool about him, that you would either like him or hate him for. He doesn't come out in cool cars or anything anymore. No. He doesn't have Ricardo to be his special announcer.
He's damaged goods at this point.
He is, man. He needs to be repackaged.
But he's got more wins than RVD.
He does. Or be put off TV for, you know, either way. But
absence makes the heart grow fond.
He's got more wins than RVD.
He does. Okay, all right. You guys, Louis is going to start the Alberto Del Rio fan club with the tagline. He's got more wins. Alberto Del Rio. He's got more wins than RVD.
Oh, boy. That'll catch on.
That's so good. Yeah, all right.
No, that's funny.
But we get.
I'm not an ADR fan.
Yeah.
Go.
Thank you for letting the A's breathe. I appreciate that. You know, you really do.
As your special,
as your special commentator, which is the Fandango Dolph Ziggler feud that's definitely starting. Yes. Always great to see Dolph Ziggler. This was a good match. I mean, I thought Alberto Del Rio looked actually pretty good in this match. Everything, dude. What was the one spot Alberto Del Rio pulled? Well, first.
Ziggler was coming in a slide.
And he pulled the ring
apron,
skirt and got him into that, which was awesome. And then the like flip over in the corner, like diving
the reverse suplex, like, you know, backwards.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, like a reverse. What was Goldust's move? Curtain call.
Yeah, curtain call.
Basically, it was like a reverse curtain call
from the top turn. But it was phenomenal. Like I don't usually care for Alberto Del Rio matches, but no, this one was phenomenal, and it was phenomenal. It shows that Del Rio is definitely a good wrestler, which
he is. There's nobody disputing
that.
Yeah,
is so phenomenal because you need to be amazing to. First, allowed to risk that maneuver because that is a risky maneuver.
Yeah,
that's not and then to pull it off as well as he did, like and the sliding into those two guys, they put on a clinic. That was one hell of a match. I'm actually rethinking what my match of the night might be as we're talking about this. So this is.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna get some ADR chants starting soon.
You will.
Relax there.
He's got more wins than RVD. He's got.
Yeah, I mean, and also one other thing to mention is that when Dolph's music hit, he got a huge ovation. Again, that's the Montreal crowd.
There was signs out there that said "Push Ziggler."
Yeah, people love Dolph Ziggler. It's just that, you know, backstage he has a hard time keeping his mouth shut or whatever the case may be, you know. But I think that if he just, you know, kind of lays low and shuts the hell up for about 6 months or whatever.
Ziggler, man. That's not Ziggler.
Well, it wasn't Shawn Michaels for a long time either, you know, and he's,
Let's touch on that a little because we talked about this weekend when we were talking about how Triple H was back in the day.
Yes.
You know, how Triple H was back in the day, he would always speak his mind. You know what I'm saying? Constantly yelling at somebody, you know, saying, you know, why isn't I'm getting pushed or this and that, or I should be this or I should be that. Same thing that Dolph is doing right now. You know, like you said before, would you guys think that the Triple H is kind of pushing people away, trying to not let them do that?
Well, I'll tell you what I think, and it is, you know, Triple H, as it's been, you know, stated over and over again in WWE lore, he was going to win the 1996 King of the Ring instead of Stone Cold Steve Austin, but then the curtain call took place at the Garden, and he got de-pushed, okay? And I'm very hesitant to say that because, yeah, he got de-pushed, but he won the Intercontinental title within maybe 6 or 7 months later.
Yeah.
He won the King of the Ring the next year.
Yeah.
So I don't really look at it as a really heavy de-push.
Well, and if you think of it, if Stone Cold doesn't win
the
96 King of the Ring, we're
Things
probably
so
watching WCW Monday Nitro right now.
That or Grey's Anatomy or something. We're not doing this right now.
Because there's no Stone Cold. Austin 316 wouldn't have been born.
Attitude Era.
Yeah, oh my. Could you imagine how bad if oh my. It would have been like King Mabel.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay.
That
all
went
right,
over well.
so enough on that. So we had the great match. Fandango gets up on the table and just
somebody knew to cue his music. Yeah,
he did. He's like, I hope it's time, and he just gets up and just starts gyrating his hips and dancing.
And JBL was just in shock.
Okay, because it's right over JBL. JBL's just got a face full of
hat.
He's got a face full of Fandango. Yes, a face full of excellence.
Love Fandango.
It causes Ziggler to be. It distracts Ziggler. ADR, who's got more wins than RVD, gets the victory here. And
also a U.S. title shot, Mike.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tonight that just happened, and because I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Sheamus won that without seeing it.
Probably.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I didn't like that they just
ADR.
They're like, oh yeah, by the way, you get a U.S.
ADR's not gonna win.
Yeah. So that happens. Now we get into the backstage area. And because JBL kept asking Fandango, JBL kept asking Fandango, like,
about
what's going on with Summer Rae and Layla, and
yeah.
Fandango's like, some days I like blondes, and some days I like brunettes.
And
then he's like, is she your only lady? He's like, what are you trying to put me on blast? He's like, I can't expose myself, and she could be listening. And they get backstage, and there's Layla, and old-looking Layla.
Oh, I hope you're not still blah blah.
And he's like, oh no, baby, you know that. And he gives her a little kiss on the forehead, and you see him look to the distance, and then they cue it. And you see the beak, and then you see Summer Rae.
Yeah, that beak came on camera. I was like, who the?
Someone on Twitter said
Summer Rae.
Someone on Twitter said something hilarious. They're like, Fandango's stuck in a love triangle with Layla and Sweet D from It's Always Sunny.
Oh man.
Right?
I never thought about that, but good.
But no, I mean, if minus the beak, Summer Rae's got one hell of a body.
She's like 30ish, She's got
a rocking body. That ass shot they showed of her walking away was pretty good.
She's like 30.
Yep. Ugh. All right, man, you're like 30.
Okay, but okay. It's not about me, Mike. Okay.
I gotcha.
Okay, it's not about me. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a low
but
blow.
Let me tell you, they'll stick a diva with an act whenever they kind of want to help get that act over a little bit, like with Rusev. We've got Lana. So, but they've got two divas with Fandango, and I think Fandango eventually is going to get a solid push, and get thrust into the mid card. I thought that he was going to win the Intercontinental title last year before,
he was supposed to before, but he got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they put
I don't think
Curtis Axel in the match.
I don't think it's more of a push for Fandango, to be honest with you. I think it's
a
push for Summer Rae.
I think he's right.
Reason being, Summer Rae is over 30.
Over 30, right? Yes. Okay. All right.
She is
in the Marine
NXT.
4. And she's
in Marine 4 with The Miz. But she's in NXT right now in a #1 contender match, I think this Thursday on the WWE Network. Where she will be fighting Bayley, your girl.
Oh man,
not happy with Bayley.
That is going to be bowling shoe ugly.
#1 contender.
Yeah, that's right.
Bayley can go.
I believe. I'm talking about their faces, really. That's right.
It's a #1 contender match, and the winner gets to face Charlotte. Right?
Charlotte's the champion.
Charlotte,
for the title. And right now the BFFs are kind of feuding.
Oh yeah, they totally
together, are. So that's why I'm thinking maybe this thing with Fandango and
give Summer Rae more.
I was surprised that they didn't continue. Which actually I shouldn't be surprised that they didn't continue. Now thinking of it, that they didn't continue with the Dolph Ziggler Summer Rae thing. Like you think they would have kept that going another week after they just made out a week ago.
Maybe Dolph ran his mouth backstage that night or last night or whatever. Who even knows?
Who knows?
All right, so we had that. Then after that was the I think I'm missing something. We had Fandango.
Yeah,
oh man.
I know. Yeah.
it is.
Oh man.
There it is. That's
This guy's all about Stardust, and I
Now
don't.
we'll do the
You know
U.
what? Hold on. Okay, wait.
But no, Cody Stardust.
Goldust.
The U.
Well, no, first it's Stardust,
Stardust
talking
starts
to Goldust's old
Wig.
blonde wig, cutting an awesomely bizarre, just crazy promo.
Yeah.
Then Goldust comes into the scene, and he like gives Stardust on the old, hey, what's that? So, Stardust looks aside, and Goldust puts his wig on and goes full into the old like Goldust way, and they put a thing on Twitter saying Star Bazaar, which I
like
get
that.
the inclination that that's gonna be their.
I didn't hear it until you said it, but I really like it.
I think that's gonna, and that's a good name. Star Bazaar
I do like
is a good name. I'm so in on this.
Bizarre Dust.
Bizarre Dust.
Oh, that's
I
good.
like it.
That is good too.
That's damn good. You gotta tweet that.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bizarre Dust.
I'm loving it. Like McDonald's. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They probably will be tag team champions again. Not right away, but if this keeps up, I see them in the hunt again.
Yeah, I would really like for them to stay together for a
Tell me you
while.
didn't laugh when Goldust did his little too, and then Stardust like.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was.
That's gonna be his thing now. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
It's so good.
This is the renaissance of Goldust. I'm really excited about that.
Yep.
Dustin Runnels. I mean, he is a world-class worker.
He's the natural.
He really is. I mean, he's absolutely outstanding. And Cody Rhodes. I remember, Lou, you were talking a few weeks ago about how your favorite thing about Cody Rhodes was the mask, and I'm right there with you. But pretty much everything that Cody Rhodes has done, even when it was just a mustache, has been rock solid. I'm rooting for Cody all the way. I think Stardust is awesome. I hope they become tag team champions again, and I would like for them to stay together for a little while. But WWE, at the on a whim, they'll just break up tag teams. I hope they don't do that.
I like to see a tag team run with them. A couple months of tag team, and then eventual breakup.
Yeah, sure. I mean, at some point,
an Intercontinental title run for Stardust going as well. I don't see a world title much with
ever.
Stardust. No.
Yeah, but are
you talking about Stardust, the Stardust gimmick, or are you talking about Cody Rhodes in general?
Stardust gimmick.
Yeah, agreed. It's not a main event gimmick. Yeah,
maybe eventually if he loses the Stardust gimmick.
Yeah, which he will
Cody
at some point,
Rhodes
I'm sure.
Will go into maybe a world title run, but
do you see that happening? Cody Rhodes becoming world champion?
I
really
can't. I really don't.
If
they haven't given it to him now, then no, I don't see it.
I could see it in the future.
I could see the stars aligning. Oh, okay. That's
Cody
a good play
Rhodes.
on words. That's good.
There you go,
I like Cody Rhodes, but right now I cannot see. Future.
We'll see.
I don't see him as a world.
He's still in his late 20s. He's got a lot more years. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
it's possible. I could be wrong.
We had a hot crowd here in Canada.
Oh man, like crazy.
And the next thing was pretty awesome. First, you get Jerry Lawler in the ring talking about that. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, all three of us. Yeah,
that's where he had his heart attack.
It's been a year since Jerry had the heart attack.
Had the Jerry chance going.
Okay.
Obligatory Jerry chance.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
deservedly so. Yeah.
The best there is.
Best there was.
He may be the best that there ever will be. He might be.
Son of a bitch.
He might be. I wasn't gonna. I didn't ruin it. Okay, we had it. Okay.
Do Re Egon, like Ghostbusters, right there.
Bret Hitman Hart.
Yes. The only thing missing from this was the Fink doing the Bret Hitman Hart like intro, but
no, he doesn't. Vince McMahon doesn't like the way the Fink looks, even though he is the greatest announcer in sports
ever
history. Not sports entertainment, sports history. Everybody, but
Buffer.
Bret Hart comes out. He's cutting a nice little promo. He's like, man, he is saying like how he wishes. He's got the feeling.
Yeah, talking about the goosebumps. The camera even zoomed in on the goosebumps, like. We're going to see the goosebumps. I mean, I don't know. We're not.
But then his music hits again, and
I was like,
Bret, the Hitman, Sandheart comes out.
I was wondering when he was going to show up.
And,
Sandheart.
Oh my! I was laughing because dude, Sando is getting pretty good at his impersonation. I wonder if this stuff started because. If maybe backstage, like Sandow used to do impersonations, and someone was like, "You know what? We're gonna make you do that." But he's become like the new Santino Marella, joking around and stuff. But man, he had He had the leather jacket,
Yeah.
and you could tell. I mean, Bret Hart had to give him those tights to like wear, like those were.
Yeah, I mean,
those are authentic.
I'll tell you, when he came out, it made me realize how big Bret Hart was, like physically big. Because man, Sandow, man, he just looks so much smaller than Bret ever did. I mean, he had that visual, yeah.
The reason Bret Hart ever looked tiny back in the day probably was because that was the steroid era. I mean, Bret Hart was he was a good 240.
Yeah, but I mean,
240 pounds, and now if you think of it, John Cena weighs 250.
That's what he's billed as.
Okay,
I don't know if that's what.
I mean, even like Seth Rollins is like 220.
There's no way he's 220 pounds.
Well,
that's what he's billed as.
I got you, but a lot of these guys are 220. Like
CM
Punk was only like 220, 218. Yeah. They're not the Roy D. Magoos of the past. Yeah, Bret Hart lived in the Roy D. Magoo era. So,
that's the first time I've ever heard that era referred to as the Roy D. Magoo era.
There's no doubt about it being.
All right, I will jot that down. But yeah.
So yeah, Sandow, what was the line? He's like, Bret, you never were the greatest talker or something to him. And
yeah, then he nailed him with
Bret Hart just nailed him right in the face. He's like, no, I was good with my fist.
Yeah, or I was the greatest puncher or something.
But the thing that did suck is then they just cut like Bret Hart's. They put like Bret Hart's music, and that was it. And you could see Bret Hart looked like he still had
I felt like there was more to that, and then Sheamus's music hit, and I like Sheamus, but that sucked, man.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, give him a little bit more love than that, especially in Montreal. I mean, man, I don't know, but
again. Goddamn Alicia Fox and
Nikki
Bella. Goddamn it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. Yep, that's right. They just ran too long with that that stupid segment. But what was it? Real quick. You know who else did impressions that it was fairly over? Charlie Haas did. You know, he did Jim Haas, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, and they released him a few months later. And I hope that doesn't happen to Damien Sandow because that match with John Cena that he had, the cash-in match, Money in the Bank. That was the match of his career, and ever since then, he has completely stalled. You know, he has the ability to be way more than he's been booked to be, and I just hope that this isn't him doing something before they let him go.
And the white knee pads again. Now,
he needs to go back to his intellectual savior of the masses.
Yeah, the Kobito Akiet.
Yeah.
You know,
that was a good gift.
You're welcome.
Santino, who apparently, to all reports, said he's retiring because of his third neck injury.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. Now I do know I had read he had said on Twitter or on an interview that he was probably going to be winding down soon. I didn't realize it was this soon because the interview was on like a week before. But he said he wants to work backstage, so hopefully he does get a job.
He's got a great reputation backstage. He's one of Cena's best friends.
Backstage interviews, you know.
Oh my!
Man, they could probably do some stuff like that.
Good, you know, because they got Renee Young now is doing commentary on Superstars.
Yep.
They still have her backstage too.
He can do the pre-show. You know, and the post-show.
A lot of things people don't realize is Santino's actually Canadian.
Yep. He is. That's right. The Toronto house show. Because he's from Toronto and he wanted to. Yeah, I mean, that really sucks. And you know, when you think about matches like Money in the Bank and stuff, those matches do really legitimately shorten careers, you know, i.e. Edge, you know. And the thing is
Daniel Bryan right now, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, all these high-risk matches that they do, and Santino was never in any matches like that. Maybe an Elimination Chamber match like last year or 2 years ago or so.
Money in the Bank.
Didn't you see him against Umaga when he first came out?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, where he gets beat up or whatever, but I mean, it just makes you think to yourself, this guy wasn't even in those high-risk, dangerous matches, and he has to retire because of a neck injury. And I just really hope
got him.
Maybe the Cobra got him in his sleep or something. I don't know, but it really sucks, you know. And I just, you know, you hate to see somebody go down in this way.
I really love Santino.
I didn't dislike him, not at all. He was a children's character, and I enjoyed him.
I definitely loved Santino. He was I always got a good chuckle out of him. He had the best arm drags.
The best hip toss. He had the best hip toss for sure, yeah.
He was something else. Now, the next thing was, for the first time in a year, Chris Jericho, Y2J, in a match against the entertainment superstar.
The media... sensation.
The face of the Marine 4 franchise.
Oh, I didn't know that one movie was a franchise. Maybe the Marine franchise.
He was in 3.
Huh?
He was in the Marine 3.
If you ever want to see a good review about the Marine 3, check out OSW Review, and they have one about that, and they just shit on that
Cena,
movie. Ted DiBiase Jr. And then it was supposed to be Randy Orton.
Well, no, but it
wasn't. No, it was supposed to be Randy Orton, and Randy Orton went AWOL in the military.
Yeah, as a Marine,
and, and the people, like, Marines are like, fuck you. There's no way.
I don't know what WWE is thinking with that one because, I mean, that's whatever. But, yeah, the Marine 4 franchise. Idiots.
Yeah, okay.
Let's not talk about Marine 4.
I did. It's funny, though. It reminds me of Rick the Model Martel and Shawn Michaels when they had their match at WrestleMania 8 or SummerSlam. I think maybe it was SummerSlam, I believe. With Sherry Martel, and you couldn't punch each other in the face because they had too pretty of faces. It was funny how he's like doesn't want to be hit in the face because this is his like moneymaker. Yeah.
It's Hollywood face.
Jericho and him had a great match. I think that's Jericho's first match on TV in a year. I know he had one warm-up match, so that's Jericho's second match. And
I'm sure he got an opportunity to work out a little bit, but Jericho's a naturally. I mean, Jericho, absolutely.
Though his chest muscles look really weird.
Yeah, it's because
you know who works out with these wrestlers when they're coming back, like who it is.
I know who did.
Curtis Axel. He's the one that goes out there and helps these guys get back into ring.
You're not serious, are you?
I am serious.
I thought it was Kurt Hawkins who worked with like The Rock before WrestleMania and stuff.
Curtis Axel.
I'm gonna have to do some research because I could have sworn to God it was Kurt Hawkins. I don't know.
Curtis Axel was the one that was.
Okay. Maybe it was, and maybe it's if you have to be named Kurt to do this.
It could be that. I'm not sure, but I am gonna do some. I could have sworn, but if anybody's gonna prove me wrong, it would be you, Lou. But
It was Curtis Axel with The Rock. I'm pretty sure he helped Jericho come back. I'm not. Don't hold me on that.
And Jericho was on point,
Oh yeah, it was a good match.
I just didn't like that. That you guys said that they announced on SmackDown that he was going to make his in-ring return. That's 3 days' notice with 66% of the Raw audience. And that bothers me because again, like I've always said, they wouldn't do that with Triple H. They'd make his return match on a pay-per-view or a big pay-per-view. Yeah. Chris Jericho is a legacy star with 20 years experience, undisputed champion, 9-time IC champion, the first ever undisputed champion.
That was the same thing like you brought up with Triple H when he came back for that SummerSlam match against King Booker.
Yeah, they built it up,
blah, blah, 3-4 weeks prior to.
Or when he came back in 2002 for the Royal Rumble match. Yeah. He came back in the Garden on Raw, had that thing with Kurt Angle, but they didn't have him wrestle in a match until the Royal Rumble, which he won. Yeah. Jericho, he just goes out there with 3 days' notice in a mid-card throwaway match against The Miz, and that really, really bothers me because you're losing out on money.
No, I don't think so because they did this to set up what they are setting up for the pay-per-view.
Right, and I see what you're saying.
The Wyatts came out, and it's going to be Jericho versus Bray Wyatt. Jericho was brought back to against Bray Wyatt. That's
no question, as he should be. Yeah,
and it was a good reason to match is over. Let Jericho get rid of some of that ring rust. If he has any, let him get rid of some of the ring rust before he has his match with Bray Wyatt, because that's going to be the most important. Let him do that. I think it actually benefits him because Jericho, he's an excellent wrestler, as we know, and it's good, and it gives the Wyatts interrupting a match or whatever is always a good segment. It was pretty cool.
The banter between them two is.
Oh man, that is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I did really enjoy it. Yeah, I liked watching them interact.
Last night, with Wyatt sitting there on the couch and saying, "What are you gonna do? Save us, Y2J. Yeah. Save us, Chris." Yeah. Jericho's like comes out and he's like, "Would you please shut the hell up?"
It was great.
And they go Jericho's back and forth. It's great, and they didn't. There was no physical altercation between the.
Not this time. Like there was last week. Yeah.
You got to build the tension.
There was no altercation, but I'm looking forward to this match just because.
So here we go. I hate to be the spoiler, but I already can tell what we're gonna either see on SmackDown or next week's Raw.
Okay.
The Wyatt family versus Chris Jericho and the Usos.
Yeah, it's always the Usos and ex-partner against the Wyatts. It's like Sheamus the other week or whatever.
Sheamus last week, and maybe Raw next week we'll have a 6-man between them.
I know, but you already know.
Probably.
Mark my words. Mark them.
Yeah. And I wouldn't agree with that either. Save it for the pay-per-view for those guys to actually go head-to-head. Yeah, but it's whatever. If it's not Triple H, they're not going to be super, super concerned about protecting the program.
Maybe they won't do the 6-man right away, but maybe they'll do like Eric Rowan against Jericho.
Or or maybe even do the 6-man the night after. They will at some point, no question.
I would hope they do a one-on-one, Jericho and Luke Harper first, and then maybe Jericho and Rowan on SmackDown, and then
Jericho and Luke Harper.
No, actually that's going to be the last Raw before Battleground.
Well, again, we won't go too deep into the fantasy booking. The next thing we get to see was the birth of probably one of the most beautiful Divas tag teams.
Oh,
Ever.
yeah. I mean,
My baby girl, Paige.
Yep.
And my
And
girl,
AJ.
AJ.
Yep,
Paige.
Paige.
Yep.
AJ.
AJ Lee, yep, Paige.
Yep.
Against the Funkadactyls. And how about Paige giving one hell of an introduction to AJ Lee?
Yeah, I mean, she's a Divas champion. I mean, she should get an introduction like that.
It's not like what's her face, Eva Marie or whatever. Remember when they tried to have her do an introduction? She forgot 2 of the 3 guys from 3-man band.
Trash.
She is trash.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. I mean,
she is,
like crazy. Like I want to. Okay, yeah. But,
no talent.
Yeah.
But Paige gives a good introduction. I love Paige.
Having boobs is a talent, but moving along.
The Funkadactyls finally like breaking up now. It was pretty funny that Cameron and her no talent selves like doing her lip gloss and yawning, and then all right, what the hell is this? What's going on with the WWE referee? Like, when is it allowed that you can just walk to the center of the rope and you tag him in as the ref sees it? Like, how can the ref not be like, you gotta hold on to the tag team thing?
Yeah.
Who is this ref? How did he not get fired and another ref did get fired?
Isn't that why they put the tag ropes back on there? They used to not have the tag ropes.
No, they got rid of them for a while, like an Attitude Era.
Yeah, right. This is bad officiating. Bad officiating leads to a loss.
Yeah. WWE doesn't pay attention to detail like that.
Of course, but either way, Paige destroyed, and they win. But then the Funkadactyls, they're broken up. We got some titty pushes.
Did you see Cameron putting on her eyeliner and stuff during the match? I did really enjoy that. And Cameron really is a scumbag, like a DUI, driving the police scumbag. She really is in real life. Like if you saw her on Tough Enough, she doesn't know anything about wrestling. No. I think that's what attracts her. I think that's what Vince McMahon is attracted to in her, is that, okay, this is somebody who's not like, you know, so all about wrestling and stuff, you know? Yeah, so it really bugs me.
She's a scumbag, and she sucks at wrestling, and she has no talent.
But I did really enjoy watching her on the apron like that, because I was like, wow, you are a legitimate piece of shit, you know? And I believe it. Yeah. I believe her.
She plays a character.
Yeah. Not hard at all.
Not a character, that's her.
Okay, now go out there and be exactly who you were on the day you were born, you piece of shit, okay? Yes. And that's what she did to great effect, yeah.
Check. After that, we get the.
What do you think this is going to lead up to a match with Paige and AJ though?
Yeah, you see what's coming. You see what's coming.
More than likely, I would
But I do like the pace that they're doing it at. You know, like eventually Paige will be the one who turns heel. You know, and really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really make that much sense because Paige, you know, she got one over on AJ the night after WrestleMania, and at the time, AJ was like such a piece of crap to everybody, so she deserved it. Yeah. And now, you know, Paige is going to be the bad guy. I don't know. It's just like it's whatever.
You just looked at it as a people missed AJ when she was
That's exactly what it is, you know. And I mean, that's the way.
Even though AJ was a heel, you know, real bad.
People still like her. Yeah, she is definitely talented. Yeah,
and people like her. You know,
which is what's needed in wrestling. You have to. There's oversaturation. You have to have people take breaks. You need to get people.
It
off
really
TV
is the truth. Yeah. It really is the truth.
Next thing though is Cesaro against Kofi Kingston. Paul Heyman in it. You know, the one behind the 21. But I love it. Like Cesaro cuts him off, and for a second you're like, "Whoa, is Cesaro pissed at Heyman?" And he's just like, "Nope." These guys, they don't. This is Montreal. They don't understand English. They don't understand English, and they don't understand proper French. They speak.
The French don't like them. The Canadians don't like them. And then he said something in French where he was like, "Oh, je gabacui" or something like that, and the crowd booed, and I laughed so hard.
I find out what he meant was Quebec really sucks.
Yeah, which is pretty funny.
That's great, but I love that. I had no idea what he said, but the crowd booed so hard, and I was like, awesome.
All right.
Oh, he got him. He got him good. I love it.
He got you, Canadians.
Take that.
Kofi Kingston.
Take that, Canada.
Quick match. Kofi Kingston getting another roll-up victory.
2 weeks in a row.
Pretty crazy. Kofi getting some wins. Cesaro, he's not doing the swing anymore. He's not like they're. It's. I mean,
they want him to be a bad guy,
but he's so good. And
he is,
And it's just like usually when you're a bad guy, you get to do more stuff because you're a bad guy, and like him being a bad guy has watered down his character. Like and it's.
Well, they don't. They, from what I'm thinking, is they're saving him for a feud with Brock Lesnar.
Which that would be
money,
huge,
an amazing match.
Yeah. You know, because
if he gets the swing on Lesnar, the roof will come off of that place.
God.
Yeah. He shouldn't be.
Will collapse.
He shouldn't be doing this. It's a babyface move. They're trying to make him a
It
heel,
is, yeah.
so I get it.
At least he should do like you did, like every song, like act like he's gonna do it and be like.
I do like.
But you put him against Brock Lesnar in
a
match. That's
You're
gonna
printing
be money.
You're printing money on that one.
If it goes the way Brock Lesnar does come back at SummerSlam, wins the title from Cena. Set up a feud. Why Cesaro to Heyman? Why you all for him? Why you all for him?
Yeah.
What about me?
Well,
let's not get too much into the fantasy booking.
One thing is that this will be the first. Not that they do a lot of them, but this will be the first battle royal that Cesaro has been in since the first annual. Andre the Giant for the inaugural. Thank you. You do it, Mike. You do it way better than me.
Well, the word first annual is not an actual word because it's not the anniversary of anything yet.
I'm a bad person.
It's inaugural.
Yeah.
The inaugural
Thank you.
Andre the Giant
rest in peace.
Battle Royal, Memorial Battle Royal
at WrestleMania 30.
WrestleMania 30. Now, he won it. He
did
got
win
a great trophy that was then destroyed by Jack Swagger.
Okay.
He's the odds-on favorite to.
I think so too, right? I do think so.
He is.
I would say, yeah.
I could say we're on agreement. Your next Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I think that'd be a huge boost to the title for two reasons. One, because Cesaro is an unbelievable ring technician. I mean, he is through the roof in so many ways in the ring. Okay, and then the second reason is because of Paul Heyman. I mean, anybody who is in Paul Heyman's camp immediately gets tons of attention, as they should, because Paul Heyman has such a sterling track record. I think that if Cesaro becomes Intercontinental Champion and they allow him to have a long reign, let that work ethic shine through, let Paul Heyman do all the talking, it'll elevate Cesaro, it'll elevate Heyman, and most importantly, I think it'll give a much-needed boost to the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, and if you do give him the reign, that does presents the, if Lesnar is supposed to come back and probably win the title SummerSlam, it presents especially if Daniel Bryan's still hurt, hey, I've been Intercontinental Champion for X amount of months.
Oh, man.
I need my title.
Royal Rumble, somewhere around there. Oh, boy.
All right. So,
Cesaro.
After that, we get Bo Dallas against El Torito.
This wasn't fair.
This was hilarious.
This wasn't fair.
I don't know, Torito beat Heath Slater before.
That's not fair.
Who would you say was the underdog here? Bo Dallas?
That's what I'm saying. You don't take Bo Dallas and put him in there with an experienced ring veteran like El Torito.
This was hilarious. Like, Bo Dallas just beats him up in a matter of a couple minutes. Bo dogs him, but
he shoved down
Diego.
Diego, was it Diego? Yeah, he shoved him down for no reason.
Bo Dallas wins. He does his little celebration.
Victory lap.
He does a victory lap, and he runs over El Torito. And
he didn't even flinch. Not even. Yeah, it was great. And he fell right on his face. It was great.
It was so good. What's he like,
he yelled at him, too.
Is he 13 and Bo?
13 and Bo.
Wow, I've been waiting for 13 and Bo. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Also in the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal, but like I said, Cesaro. But we'll see. I think Bo will have a strong showing.
I bet you Bo Dallas. Yeah, I was say he probably is one of the last ones that gets.
He might be in the top 3.
Oh, you know,
and it would go good with his white tights.
Reverend Big E interfered in Kofi and Cesaro
Thank you.
match.
Oh yeah,
thank you. Sorry about that, Lou.
He came out, beat up Cesaro, so that sets a little thing with them too.
Sorry,
you know.
He didn't get to talk. I want to hear.
His little preach.
I'm wondering why though. To me, I don't mean to go there, but it's like, why? Because they're black, or is it because Big E is like a good, decent person with, like a moral compass or whatever? I mean, you never see the faces anymore standing up for each other. So I'm wondering why it happened in this scenario. But
Kofi's his boy.
Yeah.
I guess so, but I mean,
on SmackDown, he said you attacked my boy.
There you go. That's why.
You jumped my boy.
Okay, there you go.
My boy.
SmackDown.
Big E.
Everything.
All right, well,
I'm done with Big E.
This now leads us to
33% of us watch SmackDown.
The main
event.
You know
which
I'm
one
done with
it
Big E.
is?
Yeah.
The main event.
The main event. Now, this is week 2 in a row that we had a John Cena main event. And
you want to talk about the backstage segment?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we
okay.
did have a good backstage.
Yeah,
segment.
I thought it was really
Rollins
good.
and
Cena.
Mm-hmm. Cena does pull one on Rollins, saying he looks like a future spaceman or something.
Yeah, his future suit or whatever. Yeah, and he scored off of him. You know, it's fine. Yeah.
They had a good. And you alluded to it earlier. They had a very good. There was good banter back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. I believed it.
Seth Rollins says he respects him or something, or what did he say? He's like, I'm gonna be the future champ though. He's like, I'm not here to just fight you.
Cena said
that
he respected.
But Rollins said, I'm not here to just fight you or whatever. I would talk like civil gentlemen.
Yeah. And Cena was like, oh yeah, real civil when he was taking all these passive aggressive jabs at him and stuff. But I believed it. Yeah, even like Seth Rollins when he was interacting with Kane and Orton earlier in the night, that kind of sounded a little scripted to me, just a little bit. But this backstage, both of them coming together, oh man, I felt it, and I'm really excited for the future of these two guys because Cena's going to be able to go if he keeps himself healthy for another few years, and when Seth Rollins is towards that main event level, these guys are going to have, like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan level. I mean, this guy's a Ring of Honor former champion,
Tyler Black, by the way. Last week I said Tyler Rex.
Yeah, you did. Tyler Rex got fired. I remember that. I was like, oh, you rascal. But
like we were saying, you're going to see great matches because Cena will have somebody he can dance with.
Yeah, somebody that can create a lot of movement for him. And Cena can move too, I mean, he keeps himself in shape. But,
what I was saying is...
Really enjoyed it.
2 weeks in a row that I've been wide awake watching Raw. Cena starts wrestling. And I passed out again last night. I'm not trying to do this on purpose. Like, my body is good,
shuts down.
It shuts down when Cena is wrestling now.
Yeah.
I think I've seen so much of Cena and been so aggravated over what I've seen for so long that my body now is instinctually just going to sleep so I don't have to suffer through another Cena match. And I love Seth Rollins and everything, but man, I woke up right at the end of it, but I got to watch it. It was an alright match,
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean,
no, not at all. Just same old Cena, same old. Just he's not gonna lose clean. I mean, I don't think he should have. There's no reason there. But
the match ended in a DQ, right?
Yeah.
The Authority got involved, and that's good.
It was Kane and
Kane Orton.
No, here's something a lost art in wrestling selling. John Cena gets RKO'd or whatever,
yes.
and Kane, demonize him, and he's down. Roman Reigns comes in to save. Superman punches everybody. Yep. And then Cena, who was out, unconscious, pops right up, F you or attitude adjustment to Randy Orton. And then Kane is about to do something to him, and Roman Reigns spears Kane. And that's basically the end there. And you get...
Seth Rollins tried to cash in.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Seth Rollins did try to cash in. Yeah. Which, what the hell is taking these refs so long? You're given the briefcase. Why are you... Oh, no. Briefcase in hand. Bell ring.
It's 2 weeks in a row where the referee's been why are we cashing in now? The guy's hurt when this has never happened.
That's never, ever happened. It's always been, there it is. Instantly rings the bell. I thought it was basically as soon as the money in the bank was in the ref's hands, that basically was all right, this is it. You basically cashed in. They need to ring the bell, but that's the movement that oh my. So sorry to miss that. That did happen, and he cashes it in.
He tried to cash it in.
Ref's taking a second because Dean fucking Ambrose.
The lunatic fringe, okay?
Ready to kick some ass.
Love it.
And
hates Seth Rollins,
Oh my God!
One thing that bugs me, go ahead.
I think that it makes sense that why doesn't Roman Reigns?
Thank you. Yeah, that is exact. Thank you.
Because again, why I don't feel that Roman Reigns he's being pushed too fast. He's not. He's still green.
I don't like that he's in the Fatal 4-Way match. You guys already touched on it last week, though.
He's still super green. Look at this. Reigns should be fucking pissed. He should be.
Reigns should be the one up there that's even more pissed off than.
Or at least just as pissed.
But he doesn't even care. He's like, I'm
gonna be the world heavyweight champion. It's like,
come
on,
cool
man.
For school, man.
I like Reigns, but I wish that he would be at least close to being as angry as Dean Ambrose is, because it makes it look like he doesn't care about the Shield.
That's why I feel like Dean Ambrose, again, is one of the many reasons that I feel Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are just so much further along as wrestlers and on the microphone.
They are, but Roman Reigns is the chosen one.
If they were all the same size.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what
pissed. Oh boy, it'd be close.
And it's not even like Roman Reigns is that like he was looking pretty flabby. Have you noticed that in this match? Like he's not as cut. Someone mentioned he's probably off his cycle right now.
I heard you say that earlier, and I did not notice that. You know,
he's still a big guy. He's still like probably 260, but he's not. If you looked at him,
man, his shoulders are popping out of his freaking sockets. Holy smokes!
His arms had a little flab on them. There's he doesn't want that vest to come off. He doesn't want that vest to come off.
I don't know. Yeah.
Either way, though, Cena was getting booed so hard, which is great. Not even a Let's Go Cena. It was just segment. Cena. The whole time when he came out, every time Cena was on screen, he was getting booed by it. Yeah. And then Roman Reigns, he's like grabbing Cena's arm, boos. Roman Reigns or Cena grabs and cheers out the ass, and Cena's face.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird. They're trying to kind of like one up each other. Or whatever,
I wanted to see after they raise each other's hands. I just wanted to see Roman Reigns spear Cena and make that crowd explode.
Oh.
That crowd would have went nuts if he would have just speared him one time, do his little ooh.
They might be building up to that.
Wait, again, I think that would leads to a wrestler with a little more not as green would have noticed like hell this crowd like I know that's something you do that. Like, I bet you if Dean Ambrose was in that same position, if he only had 3 moves like Roman Reigns does, that Ambrose probably in that position would have just, like, on the spot been like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to spear him because he probably would have known that would have torn the roof down.
Yeah.
And
I see what you're saying, and it could be that they may have that planned already in advance for next week for them to do that. And the thing is that with somebody like Cena, who is the top star and has been for a while, when a fellow babyface who is going to stay a babyface, when he, like, does his signature move to him, that's a huge deal. You know what I mean? That's like Shawn Michaels super kicking Hulk Hogan. That's a huge deal.
Let me give you a little scenario.
Okay, talk to me, Lou.
I think what should have happened.
Bring it down on me.
This would have been Roman Reigns spear John Cena right there.
Mm-hmm.
Get the crowd go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, set up a match between Cena and Roman Reigns. Why not at that time?
Hey, why not? I don't mind.
Because you saved that for a big pay-per-view, but go ahead.
But these are 2 faces now going on on Raw. You're promoting that a week, on SmackDown, of course, they do that 3-day promotion.
Uh-huh.
You get these guys going. You build it up all day into that last match.
Okay.
They start wrestling. They do that little
dance or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Of death they do.
Blah, blah.
And then you have Randy Orton and Seth Rollins and Kane come out and just destroy them.
Oh, man.
And you have me miss all of this because I'll fall asleep again with fucking Cena in the main event.
I could maybe see them doing that, but maybe like right when they're about to lock up for the first time is when the authority comes in, because you save.
You're right. You have to save. You have to save that match because that's
it's
all
coming. Right,
it's so much
when
money.
they're ready to go. You come out or you set it up as a what's that thing, lumberjack match where you got all the heels around corner there, and then Triple H just comes out and says, you know what, get him.
All right.
And something like that, but a full-fledged one-on-one match where they actually go like 10-15 minutes, pay-per-view. It's all about making money, and when they had Jericho in there with 3 days' notice, they threw away money. When they had RVD lose a throwaway match to Rusev, they threw away money. It's all about making money. Look at the stock price with the network and all that.
That's true. Now.
That's why they're giving a free week.
We're running a little short on time. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Wrestler of the week.
Oh yeah, we have. That's what I'm saying. We got to get to these. Yeah. We have to. Our wrestler of the week. Let's see. Well, you're the guest, so let's ask you who you think was your wrestler of the week.
Are we gonna do match of the week first of all?
Let's do wrestler of the week, then we'll do.
Okay, because
all right. So who's your wrestler of the week?
Okay, my wrestler of the week wasn't in what I think is the match.
That's all right. No.
But I gotta say, Dean Ambrose. I believe him. And when you get lost in the fantasy, when you look on that television screen and you really believe what is happening, that's when wrestling is at its absolute best. And Dean Ambrose drew me into the fantasy. Dean Ambrose, Mike.
Who do you got, Louis?
Randy Orton.
Okay.
I like Randy Orton. Reason being is he was out there with his little promo with Kane.
I really
would have had your back if one more step.
What a jerk! What a jerk!
And then he comes with his match. He pulled off a solid match, with Dean Ambrose.
Yep.
I say Randy Orton.
His facial expressions during that match, like when Dean Ambrose first came out, Randy Orton had like this, oh man, who is this guy? What is his problem? Look on his face. And during the match, oh man,
and
Randy
also
Orton.
During when he was creeping up on Cena too to give him the RKO before Cena, popped up and did it.
He's really, he's amazing.
Randy Orton to me, wrestler of the week this week.
I'm gonna go with Dean Ambrose just because of that match at the very end, coming out and hitting Seth Rollins at the end of the night. I'm all in on the Dean Ambrose, and I used to dislike Dean Ambrose a lot.
Really?
I did when I first.
Why?
Because he looked like Russell Crowe, and he was a douche when he first started. All right, like
Russell Crowe,
foughting around the world. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go to match of the week. I'll start this one. I am going to go with. And this was almost my wrestler of the week, which really shows how much Alberto Del Rio and Ziggler. That was my match of the week, just because of, the Randy Orton Dean Ambrose match, phenomenal, but the few spots and just like they weren't given that much time, and I really don't like Alberto Del Rio, but I was legitimately just blown away by the stuff that he did in that match. Ambrose, I thought that was top notch wrestling, and I'm gonna go with that one.
You said Ambrose. You're talking about.
Sorry, man, I pulled a Michael Cole.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Dolph Ziggler. Oh my God, Dolph
yeah.
Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio, who has more wins than RVD.
Oh, good God.
Louis, what do you think was your match of the week?
Ambrose and Randy Orton.
Yep.
Okay.
I just loved the match. I thought it was great chemistry, great storytelling between the two of them. The last 5 minutes of the match was great with Ambrose throwing the chairs in the ring and then them brawling outside and Randy Orton giving him the DDT off the.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of good spots in that match too. There's no doubt.
I thought it was good. They told a story there. They told Dean Ambrose does not like the authority. Randy Orton is a sneaky little bastard. Definitely match of the night.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Real quick, man, there was a lot of really great wrestling on this show, man. Like more so than usual.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why this wasn't a bad Raw. This Raw was good Raw.
This is 2 good weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Promo-wise wasn't good to me, personally.
Yeah, no,
but
wrestling-wise the wrestling made up for it.
Yeah.
And we're here to watch wrestling. This is not the world promo entertainment.
But it's worth it.
Promos matter. They do matter.
Part of it.
But if you have a night that's filled with just solid wrestling,
it's a good night.
You always And what was your?
Yeah, we discussed it before, but I don't think I'll ever get tired of watching the Wyatts and the Usos wrestle. Obviously it's been done before, but I just enjoyed it so much. It's likely to happen again at Battleground for the titles, and I'm looking forward to that. And the reason why I didn't pick Del Rio and Ziggler as my match of the week is because that has happened so many times already, and I'm kind of over it at this point. I'm not saying it was a bad match, but I'm not even close to being tired of the Usos and Wyatts yet. And I don't really like the Usos, but in the ring they're top notch. So
now we have to bring up our sign of the night, which
you folks out there decide what you guys think was best match.
Sign of the night has to go to. There was 2 guys in the front row dressed as referees. And one guy kept holding a giant stripe like a referee, number 2, whenever a 2 count. And he was large and in charge with that. It was
every
awesome.
time it was a 2 count. 1, 2.
Just parading it so everyone in the arena knew what had happened.
Admittedly, I did not really pay attention to that sign until you brought it up, but when I saw that they put stripes on the 2, I was like, that's brilliant. So that is the sign of the night.
And when I mentioned Steve Vai, he's like, it's a number 2.
It's been done, but they put stripes on it.
No, you got to see this number. And the great thing is someone else next to him had like a number 2, and it was nowhere near.
It made the 2 look even better. Yeah, that's the sign of the night, the 2.
Well, this has been probably the most fun we've had so far. We're going to start having more guest hosts. We'll definitely have Giovanni on again when he's free. He's definitely he's serving our United States military, so it's kind of hard to get him around, but we were lucky enough to have him this week, which I want to thank you.
Awesome.
Until next week, wrestling fans, we are the Smarks, and we thank you for watching us, as always. Thank you so much. Watch that free WWE Network and tune in to us next week.
Holla at your boys.
Smarks.